Previously on Pallys Cafe Review. This chapter, this chapter. As our heroes proceed into the Norse lands, they are struck by an avalanche caused by Gargantus, and are separated from each other, which isn't really that much trouble, seems fighting is what gains the Norse favour with their god, so kinda was a bad move on Gargantus' side. After regrouping and setting up a base, we are given the target of multiple temples to destroy. After wiping out the temples and moving forward, Ajax, Amenra, Akantos, and Chiron bump into Brock and Eitri, who are caught stalking the team by Amenra. The two need some help, which will also provide some assistance to the team. Their forge has been taken over and needs to be free before our team can go through into Midgard. After freeing the forge and going through into Midgard, the two dwarves decide to follow the four heroes, which eventually gets them involved in the events yet to come, before bumping into an old man and a flag bearer, who offer help by stating their flag will provide safe passage through Midgard, which also requires breaking a boulder, which is blocking our path. The only issue is that we are attacked by a huge mass swarm of giants, who thankfully take the bait I set up of having a market built at the lowest point of the map, which gives the guards enough time to set trees on fire and allow us into the next segment of the Norse chapter. Turns out the Norse of this area do not like our friend's flag, which we used to try and beat them into liking us, because Norse follow whoever is stronger than them apparently. Surprise to no one, turns out the old man was Loki who tricked us. We find this information out when we meet Rainlif, a Norse hero who helps us from here on out. After bringing the different groups together by beating away trolls, building towers, and saving villages, we gain the trust of the surrounding Norse groups.
Well, I'm very interested now, as I've not seen these parts. Keep going.
I wasn't planning on stopping, but thanks for the support, I suppose, Zeus. The next hurdle we gotta counter is the Well of Erd, which we need to attack to try and defeat Gargantus, who is trying to break the gate to Kronos. Once inside, we have to work with units on the surface to destroy the gatebreaker and defend the camp we have set up on the top side. Once this is done, we are somewhat trapped in the underworld. Sadly, Chiron decides to sacrifice himself to block off an escape route for some fire giant enemies. We bump into Brock and Eitri again, who are currently working on reforging Thor's hammer, which is another artifact we have to bring together. Once that's done, the hammer forces the gate to Kronos closed. And finally, we get a chance to attack Gargantus, who, once we storm and kill, is defeated, and we take his head with us as a trophy. However...
How close are we?
Very. We'll make port before the sun sets. Bring out the head of Gargarensis. Lash it to the bow.
Yes, sir.
What trick is this? That is Kemsith's head.
Arkantos!
Atlantis.
The Fiend has already escaped back to Atlantis, where he plans to break Kronos free there. We quickly have to race back to Atlantis, save villages, and then storm the well, which he is opening. The final chapter is a stressful one. Akantos decides he wants to go in alone, sending the other heroes off to defend the villages that we've saved previously. All we have is two camps beside us, an Egyptian one, a Norse one, and of course our own. The method I would suggest for this map is a simple one. Build walls and bottleneck the enemy as much as you can, until you're able to finally finish the structure that the game has asked you to build. A wonder. A wonder in most situations would give you an instantaneous win after a specific amount of time has allotted once it's been built. However, in the campaign mode like this, the one that we've created grants Akantos demigod status, which, with his new demigod powers, he's able to storm the enemy base and kill Gargantus and his giant statue, which sadly sinks Atlantis, ending the fall of the Trident campaign, with Akantos on a shore in white armor, having either died or ascended into godhood. To sum up my thoughts on this game, it's a good game, obviously. It has a few learning curve issues here and there, and if you don't read the tutorials and watch the videos that they provide, you do end up with a disadvantage. However, the game has a uniqueness to it, as each faction has a distinct and unique detail separating them from the last. Not only that, but in those specific factions, each deity has their own benefits and disadvantages that they can provide to you. I'll let you, the viewers, explore the game yourself to find specific details, but one of the major ones that is mentioned is the method of gaining favor. Each faction has a different method, as I previously stated. The Greeks have praying, the Egyptians have building monuments, the Norse have favor by fighting, and so on and so forth, depending on the faction that you have. The extended edition goes on sale every so often, so I'd recommend, if you want it, you should probably wait till it goes on sale. Unless you want to pay $26 for the full game, or $22 for the base version, but, you know, that's only if you're a die-hard fan of strategy games. The co-op isn't as active as other RTS games, but I'm gonna bet it would be a fun time if you can find a game. But I guess that's all I really have to say on the game as a whole.
Well, thank you, Mortal. Now I can say I have seen this game's story through to the end. I will be taking my leave now.
Do you know there are like 3 other campaigns, right?
I have heard the story I wanted. I have no interest in the stories of others. For my curiosity has been quenched. Farewell, Mortal.
Huh. Well, okay then. Wonder what's gonna happen next for me.